Respect everybody, fear nobody. Right? You got to show some respect too in there, bruh. This is not Cash Nasty. All respect to Kenny, but this is not Kenny Chow calling Austin Rivers out to a 1v1. This is Nasir Kaur. He is a professional basketball player who happens to now be playing 1v1s for the next chapter, the Blueprint League, Ball is Life, Off the Dribble. This is not a scrub by any means. Yes, there's a difference between playing professional for a local pro team and playing in the NBA. Hey, welcome back, bruh. So this video is gonna be something special because we got some conspiracy, some controversy, some crazy going on. We got Austin Rivers and Nas talking crazy. Okay, more Nas defending himself. I have so many things I want to break down about this, but we're gonna start. It's gonna be in 3 sections. We're gonna go mental, we're gonna go the physical, and then we're gonna go into like practicality and how things are going down, right? So if y'all don't know, Austin Rivers was talking crazy, I guess, about Nas, YouTube, basketball in general, right? We'll go the mental and the insults first, right? The mental part and the insult. YouTuber is being used as pretty much, we'll call a spade, bro. YouTuber's being used like an insult. I'll just speak on my personal experience. I play with college players, semi-pros, and high-level players regularly. If I want cardio, I'm gonna go hoop with some friends, right? People don't realize that. Just because you have a camera and you make money off of something does not mean you're bad at it. It just means that's your way of making money. But everyone respects the people who create a business and they say, do what you love, turn what you love into a job, and you'll never work a day in your life. But meanwhile, we play basketball for a living, mind you, because we get paid to do so. And it's a problem with people. And it's usually the ones that are hating, the ones who don't play basketball, could never play basketball. But we shouldn't be using YouTuber as this insult, right? NBA games are played on TNT. We're gonna call them TNT players? No, we're not. That's the NBA. You got the G League, Euro League. YouTube has now become a platform for multiple smaller leagues. Let's call it what it is. That doesn't mean that they're less skilled at all. We can use Lamar Peters as an example. He played in the G League and did just fine. The only thing that was lacking for Lamar for him to go to the main league NBA was his shooting and his height. He's only 6 feet tall, right? Me and Lamar pretty much have the same build. His shoulders a little bit wider. His shooting is what was lacking. That's why he couldn't make it to the NBA. That's it, right? Nas plays professional basketball outside of the YouTube scene. Austin Mills, amilly, the real Austin Mills, he plays professional basketball, right? 80% of these TNC, Ball is Life, Off the Dribble players play professional. They're active in college or they've already come out of college basketball. It's not like we're talking with scrubs, things like that, right? They have the mental fortitude to play 1v1s on the internet, on display in front of everybody, no hiding, against high-level peers, right? I think that's something a lot of people forget, is that we're not talking about Cash Nasty calling out TNC. You see how TNC ignored that? Because we all know Cash can barely beat Flight. We're not even talking about that right now. Cash could barely beat Flight. So why are we even comparing the two, right? Austin Rivers. If you are not worried about playing a YouTuber, let it go, bro. Just let it go, right? Right? You don't have to respond. Your lack of response is a response. Okay, but you talked about it, right? If you respond to everything someone says about you, it shows where you are in your mentality. You cannot claim to be not emotionally invested, not emotionally responding to something, but at the same time, all of your responses are calling someone a YouTuber, even though you may not. Let's pull up the stats real quick, because let's see how we're gonna Google that. There are 2.7 billion monthly users on YouTube, right? All of these people are logged in with accounts. Nobody's watching without an account anymore. It's not 2006. That's 2.7 billion people who are potentially trying to create content. There is a very good chance someone can have a big following and you still not have heard about them. It's completely possible. So to say someone is not known, you don't know who they are, it's not an insult. You just sound immature. It's also an emotional response. From a psychological perspective, if someone is calling you out and your response is, I don't even know who you are, it's an emotional response. It quite simply is. I don't even know who you are. It sounds catty. Anyway, just play the man. You've already responded. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to play 1v1. I'm not going to play 1v1 for 100K appearance fee. I'll play you in a 5v5 setting. That doesn't show much because that's two completely different games. One-on-one, there's no hiding. You can't pass off to someone. You can't get a bucket off a screen. You can't go DHO, roll to the basket, get an easy layup. Like, you can't do those things in a 1v1. Play them. I mean, yeah, you can't do that. Play them 1v1. Just play in 1v1. The real show of who is the better scorer between two people is a 1v1. That is the only way to see who's the better scorer. Because if we try to take it to the 5v5 route, right, and now we're getting into the physical of a 5v5 versus a 1v1. If we get into the physical of a 1v1, you can't hide, right? We can look at stats all day between, like, we'll say Steve Nash, and I had this debate with my aunt's husband. I won't say uncle because, you know, whatever. My aunt's husband, we had this debate. Steve Nash is he's a better scorer, he's a better point guard than Halliburton. I don't know why he thinks Halliburton's better than Steve Nash. You can put stats right next to each other all you want. Two completely different sets of rules, two different games, two different teams. Steve Nash was one of the best shooters at the time, if we look at percentages, right? Halliburton, he's a good point guard, right? But he's not Steve Nash, right? Just take that. You can look at, okay, Halliburton in this game versus the Celtics had 45 points. But that's different from a Steve Nash 45 where he has to get out the mud. He can use a screen or two. If Halliburton's running all the way across screens the whole game, those points are scored differently. They matter differently, right? There's no help in a 1v1. That's why we do them, to show who is actually the better scorer, right? That's what 1v1s are for. So if we're gonna go the adult route, because we're all 20 plus, just play the man 1v1, right? This is the Austin Rivers section. Playing 1v1. Then Michael Beasley got involved, bro. Michael Beasley is talking about, hey, bro, you responded, quit ducking. If you don't play him, you're hiding. That is reality. Michael Beasley is really never wrong. Michael Beasley knows the game. Austin Rivers is not beating Michael Beasley 1v1. We'll start there. But Michael Beasley will pop out because he loves the game of basketball and he's not scared of anything. What Marcellus Howard say? Respect everybody, fear nobody. Right? You got to show some respect too in there, bruh. This is not Cash Nasty. All respect to Kenny, but this is not Kenny Chow calling Austin Rivers out to a 1v1. This is Nasir Kaur. He is a professional basketball player who happens to now be playing 1v1s for the next chapter, the Blueprint League, Ball is Life, Off the Dribble. This is not a scrub by any means. Yes, there's a difference between playing professional for a local pro team and playing in the NBA. If we want to use an example, would it be better if Austin Rivers played Lamar Peters? Lamar Peters did his time in the G League and did just fine, bruh. Only thing lacking, the shooting. But the skill set is there. Like, he was one step away from the NBA, bruh. I don't see what the big deal is. Like, Austin Rivers, I'll play you. I will pop out and play. You don't know who I am? That's fine. A lot of people don't. That's fine. That's fine. I just started getting consistent with this content thing, but I'm a hooper. Don't get it twisted, bruh. Don't let the film fool you either, bruh. I do this. I will play Austin Rivers. I'll lose. I know good and well I'll lose. He's an NBA player, and I'm only 6 feet tall. That matters. But I'm not scared of nobody. I'm not. And that's why I have so much respect for Nas, because Nas said, bro, I don't care. Let's play. We'll even pay you to come out. They're probably going to pay his stuff to fly out too. That's the thing though. That's why I respect Nas, because he's not afraid of nobody. And a lot of people don't respect that, right? But now let's get into the physical. Like, let's get more into the physical. Nas is, how tall is Nasir Kaur, bruh? Nas is 6'3", played at FAMU. Bro, he's 6'3", 210. We weigh almost the same. So he's probably 6'2", because colleges and pro teams tend to measure you with your shoes on sometimes, depending on the team. In that case, I'm 6'1" in shoes, right? But, dude, by no means is he a scrub. Professional basketball. I don't think, okay, let's just pull up his resume, right? Listed at 6'3". Ooh, just kicked my tripod. My fault, y'all. My fault. Let's look at his college stats, bruh. Average 7'6", 1'5", 29.8 steals. That's not bad. It's a smaller school too. 6'3", 210. That's a solid dude. I don't think y'all understand. I'm 6 foot 205, right? I can brick wall you if I want. Here's the thing. Austin Rivers is 6'5", probably same weight, if not 220, right? That's not a big difference. 3 inches of height in basketball it's not, depending on what position you play and what the height is, it's not that big. Going from 6 foot to 6'3" is not a crazy difference. Once you hit 6'3" to 6'6", it matters, right? Because the arm length. Size wise, it's pretty even. Okay. Size wise, it's pretty even. If we're going speed, I'm taking Austin Rivers. By far, I'm an Austin Rivers fan. That's the funny thing. And I see this fool playing in his 5v5 runs that he records. And let's not, it was funny. Okay, Dev, it was hilarious. It's that clip of Chris White behind the back snatch. Austin Rivers kind of stumbles a little bit. Chris White is a terrible example because he's not that good. Chris White is just big. Chris White is if Audie Crooks was a man and had handles and could actually play, right? Chris White is not super good. He's just 6'6". He's big. There's a big difference. Chris White is not that good, right? But it was a funny clip, and that's it. Now, if we're looking from a holistic perspective, NBA player, non-NBA player. If we just take it at face value like that, we're just gonna call a spade a spade. Austin Rivers, I think he'd win the 1v1, and I'm not speaking against Nas. Nas is my dude, right? I'll DM him before I put out this video and tell him, hey, bro, I got Austin Rivers, right? Austin Rivers, I got him winning, but it's not gonna be by as much as people think. It's not as simple as just NBA player, non-NBA player. There are so many nuances in basketball. 1v1 is a game of runs, right? If someone gets hot, it could change very easily. If the rules are different, it could change very easily, right? People also make the argument, oh, but it's not NBA refs who, you know, they're soft refs. Austin Rivers was playing at a time before all these rule changes where offense couldn't draw fouls and all that. He was defending at that time and he was scoring at that time. He will be fine with the rule changes. My thing is, like, don't call out people but not have the gullet to come and actually play. That's aggravating, right? And then he wants to bring John Wall. Bro, what does John Wall have to do with this, bro? Look, we get Austin Rivers and Nasir Core as the main fight, quote unquote, right? Let's just play the game. We'll get Mike Beasley and Bam to run it back for the undercard, bro. That's soft, bro. That's all I got, bro. I just want to talk about that because it's just soft. It's just soft. Let's read what Austin Rivers said. Austin Rivers. Okay. He dismissed challenges from 1v1 Hooper, which he's professional. Nasir Core stating he has no interest in playing from 100K, claiming it'd be an easy slaughter, suggesting they cannot compete with professional experience. This is the only problem I have with Austin Rivers' argument, because I have personally played against professional players. Us that are actual hoopers can compete. Compete, yes. Win, probably not. I have never won a matchup against a professional player, whether it be 5v5 or 1v1, right? I haven't played a professional 1v1 yet, but 5v5, anytime I'm guarded, I can get my shots off and I can make the shots. I can get by and get to the basket. I can get space. But in the matchup, if you compare stats, I lost, obviously. I can still compete. This is squarely false. If he's talking NBA, maybe, right? But other pro leagues, the difference is not as far as you think, right? Easy slaughter, I don't think it would be, because if Nas actually, like, if he stays getting in shape, keeps his strength up, it wouldn't be an easy slaughter unless you're just pulling from anywhere and getting all the shots you want, right? Bro, just pull up or shut up. If it's such an easy slaughter, just play the game. Easy 100K, you win in 5 minutes, you go home. Like, it's soft, bruh. What Austin Dunham say, pull up or shut up, bro. Get over it. Let's get to the game. I'm trying to see something. Make something shake and bake. Bro, this is weak. But I will address this. A lot of people are saying nepotism when it comes to Austin Rivers and his dad, Doc Rivers. You cannot nepotism your way into the McDonald's All-American. You can't use nepotism to get into the G League or the NBA. This is not that, right? Austin Rivers, he hit that grind for it. Top player in America, went McDonald's All-American, one of the best hoop mixtapes to exist. Went to college, went to Duke. You cannot be trash going to Duke at anything, even academically. As a previous Duke alumni, I wouldn't say alumni because I didn't graduate from Duke, but I was registered at Duke at 12 years old. Took the SAT, passed it. Only reason they wouldn't let me get free admission is because they called it a mock test. So whatever, right? I'm extremely smart. But for Duke to even give you a chance at anything, whether it be academic, sports, or just being there, you cannot be trash at anything. It's one of those institutions. You cannot nepotism your way there because it will be, excuse me, voice crack. It will be exposed, right? There's no nepotism there. And then for him to get into the league, you cannot nepotism your skill in the NBA at all, because you still have to go out and score, and he was able to do that. So I'll defend him on that. Either settle the beef that y'all got, Austin Rivers, or stop talking the situation. That's why your comments full of just play Nas. Nobody cares about the subject that you're talking about in the video. That's why they're telling you to play Nas. Pull up or shut up, bro. That's all I gotta say.